Hello, let's see. How are you guys? Welcome, welcome. We are going to be doing the Soulcast for October. I'm super excited. I can't believe it's October. I don't know where all the time is going. It's insane. So, but I'm excited to be here with you guys and to dive into this energy, see what it feels like, see what we're going to be coming up with. So let me just get everything set up. And I want to dive in because I want to make this kind of nice and succinct, and start to tune into what is coming up overall for October. So I'm going to pull a card for October first and foremost and see what's coming up. How was your September? I mean, today's the last day. How did you feel during September? Was there anything stand out for you? It's always such a great opportunity at the end of every month just to kind of do like a quick review, like what did I learn? What did I see about myself? What came through for me? I know for me, I really activated my emotional body. I swear after that Pisces full moon last month, or this month, I should say, I'm already like in the future. Um, so much came alive for me, and I've really been paying attention to my emotional body. So that was like a really big thing that came up for me, and letting go of some of the tethers of the past. Okay, so October, what do we have going on here? Let's see. Love begins. So we have a new cycle of energy we're tuning into. So this is going to be for the whole month of October. Um, I just love this card. It's just a really cute card. But beyond cute, what does it mean? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for us as a collective, right? And so when I'm tuning into this card, let's see how, I'm just going to close my eyes for a minute and just feel it in my body. It's interesting. I feel a really powerful energy coming through my solar plexus, and it feels like something is getting activated around our ability to step into deeper self worth this month. Um, what would life look like from the lens of I am worthy to receive all that I desire? I am worthy of having an amazingly beautiful life. I am willing to embrace that part of me. And that really is, beyond self worth, it's just kind of unconditional love for self. So there's this feeling that's coming through me that we're like washing away a lot of the old energy that has kept us looping in these belief systems that we're not worthy of what we want. So you're going to be confronted maybe in some ways with the parts of yourself that don't believe that you're worthy of something, and it's your opportunity and an invitation to clear away those old beliefs, to step into seeing yourself through creator, that you are inherently worthy. And what does your life look like from that place, and what happens when you open your heart? So many people walk around with a closed heart, and it's because they're afraid. They've been hurt. They want to protect themselves. They don't want to feel the fear of like what it's going to be like if they were just to have more of an open heart and see more love. But the only way that we can see more of that is to really be love and to have that in our energy field. So this to me really feels like, the more you're willing to see beyond the duality and the divisiveness of what's happening right now on this planet, because there's so much of that, right? And choose into love and believe. And so for a lot of people, this might be start of something that you've been wanting to do for a while. So there might be like a new passion thing passion project. For some people, it's going to be absolutely new love, like tangible new love coming in. I mean, we are ironically in a Mercury retrograde that is in the sign of Libra. We are going to be in this retrograde, I believe, until I want to say the 18th, I believe. Um, yeah, October 18th. And so this whole month, we're going to be reviewing, the way we show up in relationships. what those look like, what's important to us. And the clearest, fastest, easiest way to have more in any relationship is to have more with yourself. The most richness of relationships comes from your ability to love yourself, to believe that you can receive that which you want. But it's when you receive all of you. I literally said this on a post the other day. Like, if you can't receive all of you, then it's going to be hard to receive someone else. What does that mean? It means accepting our darkness, accepting our shadows, loving ourselves, um, really stepping deeply into embracing all of who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the brilliant, right? And so this month you're given an opportunity not only to reveal your external relationships, but like I said, your relationship to self, and step into self-love first and foremost through accessing your self-worth. And I want you to be bold this month. There's a sense of what would happen if I were to take that leap of faith and just trust. If I were to open my heart just a little bit more to that person that I care about, or to that um, cause that's out, that's out there that would feel really good for me to support. Um, and even, I know this sounds weird, but I just even got the energy of like animals, and like just like bringing the love into your life. I feel like animals are such unconditional love, but like, really finding the ways in all your relationships to bring in more love. So this is a new cycle, and it starts first with you. Okay, so there's that. I love that. That's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Okay, so, and don't be afraid of Mercury retrograde, you guys. I was just telling one of my clients earlier. It's just such a great opportunity to slow down, to not be going a million miles an hour and trying to do everything. It's really like give yourself the time to be present so you can notice the patterns and things that are blocking you from your greatness, right? We can only change things up if we're willing to slow it down enough to see the patterns. Okay, so now we're going into the first week of October, and I always start the weeks on a Monday. Like, that's how I just do it. So the 4th is the card that I'm going to be pulling for. So for the first week of October, we do have a new moon on the 6th. So we're going to be stepping into new energy. I believe the new moon is, sorry, I just had to crick my neck. The new moon is going to be in Virgo, right? No, I'm sorry, not Virgo. I'm sorry. It's Libra, isn't it? Yeah, it's Libra, I believe. Oh my gosh, I just had like a total brain thing right there. We were in Virgo in September, and now we're going into Libra. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what wants to come through for the 4th. Let's see. And I'm so glad that we have a loving energy for the month, because we need to come back to our hearts. We need to come back to love. There's just so much energy that could pull us away from that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have the Foundations and Achievements card. So this is a beautiful card too. So you see on this card, look at the cute little happy home, and the little rainbow and all that kind of stuff. But if you go deeper into the meaning of this card, for some people, this card very literally means like they're going to get a new place to live, a new home. For some, it's like like it's a marriage proposal, it's getting married, it's like that kind of energy. It's very literal. But it's a 4 card. So 4 is the foundation, right, of everything that we're doing. And it's like this beautiful purple energy. So it's very spiritual. So spiritually, I want you to think about like, where are you wanting to put your attention and focus so that you can feel a sense of accomplishment and movement towards your dreams. Not everybody wants to buy a house. Not everybody is ready to get married right now. That might not be the thing in your life, but it is the energy of starting a new chapter, having something new, creating a new foundation for your life. And it feels very much I see the third eye, and that chakra being activated within this. And it's something that you may have been working towards or seeing that you want to have, and it coming to fruition. And it may not be like the full thing manifesting, but you're going to see a portion that will let you know that you're on your way to the thing that you've been working towards. So this energy feels really, really good because it feels like you're going to get validation and proof of what you've been working on or towards. Um, let's see. I also, let me just be quiet for a moment and see for this one as far as the collective. There's a message, see beyond the veil of what's happening and all the duality. Um, and focus on, there is this feeling of like focusing on our internal worlds, our internal home. It goes back to that love card, love begins, like really focusing on the energy of what would make me feel within myself very connected and secure with what I'm wanting to see grow in my life. So see your physical vessel as the house that you're receiving. And even the marriage could be the marriage within of the masculine and feminine. So to me, this is very much about like you and your ability. It goes back to loving oneself, but this part feels like you're inviting in your divinity. You're leaving in the past this thought of I have to do everything on my own. In order to achieve and receive, I have to control and figure it all out and know all the how. And this card is a gentle reminder going into the first week of October. No, you don't have to do it all alone. You have source, you have your connection with the divine. And so making room for that in your life, connecting in your heart to receive that energy. It very much feels to, if there's a lack of something in your life that you want to see, could you make the divine either, like, let's say you're having issues where you're not having enough feminine energy in your life. So do you want to make the divine the mother energy that you need right now to heal maybe some wounds from the past so that you feel more secure about who you are and how you're showing up? Do you need, are you trying to repair your relationship to the masculine? So maybe making the divine the father or the husband energy that you are so looking for within this reality. I always say that if you can't imagine that the divine holds all the codes and the keys to everything that you want, then it's going to be hard to see it manifest in this physical reality. So what I mean by that, if you've had, let's say, bad relationships with men, if you're a woman and you date men, you've been with men, and you've been disappointed by the masculine, and you really want to bring in and you want to heal and bring in a new type of person, then a great way to start is by having the divine be your ultimate husband, energetically, of course, speaking, right? And what would the characteristics be? So if you're looking for somebody that's going to be stable and secure, then imagine that you have a relationship with the divine where it's so stable and secure. It's always there for you. It's always providing for you. You're always being taken care of. So everything in this reality, right, is a reflection of what we feel internally. So if you're able to balance out the energies within you with the divine, wherever you feel lack, have the divine show up for you in that, so that you're healing from within. So then in your external world, you can see that reflected back to you by bringing in the new relationships, by creating a stronger foundation, by feeling more deeply aligned with all the things that you want to bring in. I hope that makes sense. But it just feels like, and for some, it's just going to be family. Family is going to be a big focus for you this first week. And I also see some repairs coming in for family. If you've had some falling out with some family members, if things have been kind of, this is really interesting. I'm getting this energy of a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, and for some of us, maybe not understanding what was going on, and maybe some information coming out. So if you've been in a state of not understanding why a family member is acting a certain way, this might be the week that things kind of get tidied up and cleaned up. energetically speaking, getting balanced. And it's because you're going to slow down and you're going to allow the information to come to you. You're going to reach out and do the things that might aid and help with that. But it feels like this is a week too that the home, the family unit gets some repair done to it. So I love that. Okay. And then, yeah, like I said, on the 6th, there's a new moon in Libra. I should write that down before I start these, I swear. Okay. And let's look at the week of the 11th. We do have on the 11th that Saturn, around the 10th for us in North America, that Saturn moves direct. So it'll still be 5 retrogrades, but Saturn will move direct. And Saturn is all about that personal responsibility. So you'll see how your ability to have more personal responsibility since the month of May has shifted to now. So just take a moment on that day to kind of look at the difference between when it started in May and how it's finishing up here in October. Okay, so now we have this week of the 11th. Okay, so we get the Strength card. I mean, it's power in this deck, but we get the... And this is a fun card because it's an 8. I love this card. And I'm sure you guys have seen it in the traditional tarot where she's taming, like she's sitting next to the big lion or tiger, whatever it is in that deck, and she's kind of tamed it. So this is, a card that to me is all about resistance. Where are you facing resistance? And since we're going to go back to the theme of the month, which is love, where are you facing resistance within loving yourself and loving those around you? What are the continual patterns that block you from deeper intimacy in your life and don't allow you to have the kind of communication, the kind of fun, the kind of joy, the passion, all those things that you want in your life? So this week you might be facing some of the old patterns and clearing them, or you will find that you're opening your heart and you're feeling a little bit of the resistance towards that. So what I mean by that is anytime we're opening up to new things and we're shifting, right? Sometimes fear comes in. Sometimes we're in a new way of being with ourselves and it's uncomfortable. So this feels like you're having to face your discomfort. And the message here, if that's you, is to stay steady. Don't give up. There's such an alchemical process that's happening right now when you're able to hold yourself longer in the discomfort. Because typically when it's uncomfortable, we're like, okay, I'm out of here. I don't want to do this. But this card is asking you to stay with it, to face it, to notice what you do, especially in your patterns of attachment with other people. And when I'm talking about attachment, I'm talking about, if you're an avoidant, anxious, if you have a secure attachment, that kind of relating is going to be coming up for you this week. So I want you to pay attention to that. But also what your body does when it starts to feel the fear. Do you shut down? Do you want to run? How are you in all your relational patterns? I really, really, really want this week, because this is your last week of the Mercury Retrograde. I want you to see the deepest medicine that's available to you. And the only way you can do it is by slowing down and opening your heart and noticing, letting everything in your external environment reflect back to you what still needs healing within your relationship spaces. So we're coming off a week where maybe there's some family stuff that was happening. Maybe there's some shifts that were going on there. The new moon, right? We have all this energy that we're setting intentions. But for this week, there might be that fear that comes up, that pops up of like, oh gosh, how do I stay in this? How do I hold this energy of opening my heart? How do I not want to just shut down? So look at all the ways you block intimacy this week. That's what I really want to focus on. What all the ways that you block intimacy. And all the ways that you're still afraid to say yes to your heart. Because if we're on this planet to live and to learn, like, we really have to say yes to our heart. We really have to be willing to put it out there and to not be afraid. And a lot of us aren't in a state of allowing. So this is a card about allowing, trusting the flow, and I'm hearing this message, trust the people that come in your life around this time, because there's an influx of, you might be creating more space within your relationships. Maybe some of them, maybe there's a little bit of musical chairs where some people are dropping out of your life, and that's okay. Trust who and what's coming in, because some of it feels very divinely timed and some of it feels very synchronous with what is ultimately being planned for your greatest and highest good. So this is your last week of the Mercury retrograde to just clean up those relationship spaces and get deep clarity on how you're showing up within that. So I love that. That's your power card, and that will help you to move forward in all the ways, right? And it's not just, so I don't want you to think about this too just as in your love, like a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, husband, wife. Like, this is, we love our parents, we love our children, we love some of our, we love our friends and even coworkers and all this kind of stuff. This is all relationships, okay? And so when I'm even saying attachment patterns and within relationships, what is your pattern even with your business? If you have let's say you have your own business, or you're an executive, and when you start to get stressed and triggered, are you able to, what's your relationship with that? Like, do you go into anxiety? Do you go avoid what's happening? Like, those type of attachment patterns are not just for love relationships. They're in all the relationships. And it's a way that you, once you know what yours is and how you're showing up in relation to those areas of your life, you can grow and expand and move into a secure space with that, so that you can, because ultimately when you heal that space, you have more availability to receive more of what you want, right? If you're operating from, let's say, I'll say it like this, a protected heart that's somewhat closed, you don't have a lot of space to take in the new. And a part of reviewing and evaluating all your relationships this month is so that you can let go of what's not working. You can make more space, maybe some outdated beliefs, and step into more security within self-worth, loving thyself, so that you can receive more. Okay? And now we're going to move to the 18th. The week of the 18th, we have a full moon on the 20th. Okay, so let's see. So we got the Triumphant Success card. So this is a card that has to do with your mental body. This card obviously has the sword. It's kind of fun, right? You're cutting away things. It's a double-edged sword, right? So we'll say it like this. This is also a new beginning, because it's a one card, and we had that with the energy for October as far as the love begins. So there's somewhat of an energy here mentally that you get to continue on your path for love and in your way of relating, because hopefully within these first couple weeks of October and going into this third week, you've really gotten some clarity on how you're showing up with yourself. And this is a beautiful opportunity now that you've gotten clarity in your relationships, and you're seeing the resistance maybe that showed up with either yourself or others, to say, what do I need to cut away? What do I need to change? What are those beliefs? Because we can't move forward into new ways of being with the same thinking, right? So this is your week that, in order to have the success that you want, which is so available to you, it feels so like tangible, that you're going to start to cut away the things that aren't contributing to you having the success that you want in your life, in any area of your life, but especially with love. So I want you, the week before, you've noticed, I asked you to notice your attachment patterns, and I asked you to notice your response in your body. And what I mean by that is like what does your body do when you go into a trigger state, when you feel that anxiousness or avoidance? Do you go into fight or flight or fawn? Like, what do you do around that energy? This is a week to start to change that up, so you do have more availability, so you can move forward, because we have to change not just the way we feel, but our thinking. So I feel that is going to contribute to you moving forward into that love that you are desiring. I love the theme. And this is also a card that's telling me, cut out. If social media is bringing you down, cut that out. If the news is bringing you down, cut that out. What is going to contribute to you feeling a sense of well-being within your life right now? Because the external world right now is very noisy, and there's a lot of things that are happening, and it's really, for a lot, it's a lot on their nervous system. And it would really be easy to go into creating a dark future right now with what's happening in the world. And so this is telling me that in order for you to cultivate more love in your life, like for some of you that are very sensitive, like you might not be able to be staying so closely tied into the news and to all the things that are happening, because it affects the way that you mentally are able to see the world. And I'm not saying hide under a rock, but you don't need to be drowning yourself in all of the information that's available to us right now. So I got this message actually for this week of this month, is there's just so much happening that it can overwhelm our systems, especially when we're trying to open up personally to more love. And I also want you to ask yourself, in what ways could you be more of a beacon of love for the collective? Because that is necessary within everybody's ability to be leaders, to not just see it as their own personal life, but like in the grander scheme, how can you open up to have more love, and what do you need to cut out in order to stay in that state, to stay in that flow? And the other thing I just want to say is, this is a time to imagine, speaking of mental, to imagine the love that you want to see within your life. And what I mean by that is like really like for the collective, for your community, for your family, what do you want to see happen? And this is the week that I want you to like really just get clear, lots of clarity, imagine, and then cut away the things that don't serve, that are taking you out of that vision. Because we all have to hold that vision for right now. So that's for the 18th. And then, I'm actually doing pretty good with time. And then for the 25th, I think I mentioned we have a full moon on the 20th that week. These are all really positive cards. So we've had some before that were, of course, every month it changes, but some heavier months. And this one actually feels a little bit lighter. Knock on wood. Oh my god, we got the same card again. I literally shuffled the deck, and there must be a reason why we need to stay in that triumphant success. And since I already kind of said what that card means, I'm just going to see if there's an additional message for this week. This week really, really feels like just deeper levels of clarity coming in. Much deeper levels of clarity around the direction that you want to head in and towards. Because if you have been focusing on having more love for yourself, stepping into your self-worth, cleaning up your relationships, doing all the things, then by the end of this month, it feels like you're going to have the ability to move past the limitations. That's what they're showing me for this week. So it's a little bit of a different message, same card, but a little bit of a different message, because like they're literally showing me that anything that was tethering you to the past, anything that was holding you back from moving forward, it's almost like you have the power to finally cut it. And so I love this energy because it feels like it's going to propel you forward. Like there's this sense of like, and you're out of the Mercury retrograde, it just feels like things like, so the more that you can do the work this month to step into your heart and focus on those relationships and cut away the things and and like deal with the resistance, all of that stuff that I was mentioning earlier, this is amazing for you. It feels literally like you're using the sword to cut the last tethers of the past in whatever specific areas you've been focusing on, and most importantly, in your energy of self-worth. So if there's still something that's kind of like tethering you back to the past, this will be the week that you may feel like you're sprung forward and you're like, oh my gosh, finally there's a conclusion to this, or something's alleviated, something shifted, something changed, so that I can move forward. You know, maybe there's closure on something, so you can have the new beginnings. But it feels really, really positive. It feels really, really good. It feels like you've gained a lot of insight over the month, and there's this sense of like, okay, I get it, like I understand, so now I can move forward. I can have the success in this area that I want because I see it more clearly. I understand. And that thing is no longer holding me back. I'm free. This is also a card of liberation, feeling deeply liberated by loving yourself. It's beautiful. I love that energy. So to summarize, we just have a big month of going deep within ourselves, slowing down, really allowing our relationships to mirror and reflect back to us our deepest learning. Because I always say, like, whatever shows up for you within your relationships, good or bad, right, is a reflection of where you're still, like, if it's something where you're struggling with, it's a reflection of where you're still wounded and you still have work to do. So it's not a bad thing. It's just like, oh, I still get to show up in this. I'm still having issues around this. How do I change this? How do I work through this? And remember, there was a point in this where I said that you're not going to be doing it alone. You're going to be working with the divine, right? So asking the divine, show me how I could do better in this specific area of my life, even more so than I'm already doing now. Bring in your connection to source. Allow yourself to receive the help and support that wants to come through, because that is part of being worthy. You just know that you are so divinely loved. I know this is going to be a beautiful month for all of you, and I'm curious to see how it all unfolds. I'm doing now weekly on my Instagram. I break it down and I do like a weekly based on what I pull, and I just channel like a little bit more for each week, and I just do a little quick weekly summary every Monday. And then I just want to tell you that I have a retreat in Maui at Lumeria, November 5th through the 9th. We still have a couple spots left. So if you're interested and you're ready to go on a vacation, delve into the divine feminine and super abundance, that's what the focus is going to be on: how to receive more, how to become more abundant, and how to do it with ease. It's not about some like 1, 2, 3 plan or anything like that. It's like truly, truly from stepping into your self-worth. And then I have a live event next Thursday at Sojourn Collective at 7 p.m. It's a breathwork event with Whitney. So I'd love for you guys to join. I hope you have a great month of October, and I will see you soon. Okay, take care.